So thank you very much for coming. It's a pleasure to stay here, and I'm going to talk about problems of decentralized finances. What are the differences between decentralized finance and centralized finance and traditional finance? And I guess also a lot of people they heard maybe something about DeFi, decentralized finance, something new, and something what can change the whole financial system around the globe, but I guess it's very complicated to understand, and I would like to explain which approaches we have in decentralized finance. Why is it better compared to everything else what is out there? So let's go. All right. So agenda about I will give a small introduction about what we have right now: centralized, decentralized finances, traditional finances, how decentralized exchanges are working, how they promise higher security in centralized exchanges, and of course some risk about in DeFi. It's also a space where everyone should understand how to interact with DeFi to avoid being abused by malicious actors, and about the DEX, like DeFi experience, which changed from very bad to something what is nowadays, I would say, next year to the centralized finance experience. Next slide. So centralized finances is a financial service which is offered by a centralized entity managed by people, by humans, who became sometimes greedy. What we have seen last year, especially FTX, for example, very painful for a lot of people, painful story. Also for myself, I lost some money on the centralized exchange as well. I had the luck that I'm using non-custodian wallets. So of course, there are some advantages by using centralized financial services. Of course, they are regulated, like FTX. Like I have the picture in my mind when Sam was sitting in front of U.S. government and explained, we are regulated by a lot of entities, and at the end, what we have seen a scam of more than $8 billion of US dollars, because it was managed by people. If a person, if people can make a mistake, they will make a mistake. Yeah, this is different in decentralized finances since code cannot be changed, and yeah, there's some other benefits I will explain later. So of course, there's a easy user experience. You have maybe a form where you just select what you want to trade, and after one click, the trade happened. You don't understand what's happened behind it. Maybe you was front run by a centralized entity like Robinhood, for example. They sell a lot of information to market makers. They actually front run the people, and you cannot avoid it because everything happens in a shadow, I would say. It's not transparent at all. So of course, there's a kind of customer support and centralized financial services, and of course, you have some of kind of regulation and protection as retail customer or institutional customer. You have kind of rights, but if someone spent your money, like what happens with FTX, and they don't have any money, you will not get anything at the end. So I mentioned already, centralized exchange or centralized financial service can just shut down and you will not get anything. CeFi today, there are more than 570 centralized exchanges out there offering services for spot trading, derivatives, and some other services, like for example, for depositing specific tokens like USDC or Ethereum and earn specific like API by giving your money away to someone who will maybe speculate with it. Yeah. So we have daily trading volume right now around 80 billions of US dollars. This is crypto. CeFi, we in crypto we say CeFi is like crypto centralized financial system, and DeFi is decentralized financial system. And we call the traditional financial system TradeFi, traditional financial system. So we have also a total centralized exchange trading volume in 2022 around $7 trillion of US dollars. Decentralized finances. So this decentralized finances, when I came to this space, no one knew about DeFi. No one was speaking about that because the term wasn't created yet from our point of view. It was back to 2018. My first touch points on the hackathons with my co-founder, where I first met the Vitalik Buterin and some other nice guys who built the Ethereum blockchain. No one was speaking about DeFi. It was more about, okay, we have smart contracts, we are going to build something on that. It can be something where people can interact with each other, or it can be kind of financial thing, yeah? So P2P trades, P2P exchanges, or also decentralized exchanges like EtherDelta, one of the first one. And in 2019, a lot of projects started to interact with each other. Similar to us, when we have built the first version of 1-inch aggregation protocol back in 2019, we started just to build on top of existing protocols to collaborate with a lot of other people. And this makes this DeFi ecosystem highly strong because it's composable and permissionless. So everyone can just build on top of your service, just another service, how we did it with 1-inch. We just aggregate among already existing protocols, Uniswap, Kyber, Banker, and some others. So of course there are, so it's a blockchain-based, written smart contracts, actually just a code which is executed on decentralized computer around the globe. And if it's written very well, with no backdoors, with no bugs, and no admin rights, then it's kind of fully permissionless and decentralized. This is, for example, Uniswap implementation as well. So very nice decentralized exchange which offers high quality in terms of security and also kind of an execution as well. So of course there are some risks in DeFi space. You need to sign the transaction. You have to pay for it. Like you send in the bank a transaction, you have to pay for it, right? So here the same. You pay for each of the transaction to being included in the next block. And this is not user friendly at all. Yeah. So a lot of people they don't understand how this works at all. My first user experience was also very terrible with MetaMask. I didn't understand at all. I'm software engineer with like around 20 years of software engineering experience, and it was also new for me. I have to pay something for the transaction, and of course there are like attacks against the users, front-running attacks, sandwich attacks. I will explain a little bit later about that, and also smart contract attacks. So someone write a code, and if it's not audited enough, people makes kind of also failures, and it can happen that a smart contract can have a bug and can be abused by malicious hackers, users. So let's go maybe next, yeah. So DeFi today is the total value locked is around 50 billions. What that means, there are people who just provided own liquidity, own tokens to protocols like Uniswap, or maybe also lending protocols like Compound and Aave, where you can lend and borrow something, or you can lend and earn APY from this. This is the amount of money which is locked and works. Yeah, in the traditional finance, it's not possible for every retail user just to provide $1,000 to a service where I would just generate yield from it. Yeah, you need to go to the bank, you need to sign contracts, and a lot of stuff you need to do. Here's easy. You make one transaction and you are in, and you earn already. So daily DEX trading volumes are $2.5 billion of US dollars. It's a good amount, but still small from my point of view. And the total trading volume 2022, 1.2 trillions of US dollars. Next slide. Oh, back, yeah. So the market size, if you look on the DeFi market, this market size around 13 billions of US dollars. The crypto market at all, including centralized exchanges, is around 1 trillion, and the traditional financial market is around 500 trillions of US dollars. It's huge. So if you look on a DeFi, it's very small. It's very, very small, but highly efficient, and I'm pretty sure it will overtake the whole financial system sooner or later. So what are decentralized exchanges? So people are speaking about that, but it's not just like I guess a lot of people think about decentralized exchanges. Okay, there's a team which managed financial service, but it's in most of the cases not true. So there are very nice decentralized exchanges and different approaches as well. There are two different types of how you can execute a trade on decentralized exchanges or DeFi in general. There are market orders, there are limit orders. So at the limit orders, you just create an order for a specific trade and someone executes it. Yeah, you don't know who that is because it's permissionless. Everyone can do it. Arbitrage trader, maybe the other user who would like to trade in the reverse direction. And the market order, there's some liquidity in Uniswap and other protocols. Someone just provided some own tokens to become some earnings from it. And you as user, you can just use the smart contracts and exchange your Ethereum with maybe USDC or some other tokens just by making one single transaction without signing any documents or something like that. Of course, we have like the terms like on-chain and off-chain. Maybe it's also important for everyone to know what means off-chain, what means on-chain. On-chain is everything what's happening inside of the blockchain itself. The smart contracts interact with each other. They don't know about the world outside of the blockchain. So, and the on-chain, off-chain means that, for example, some order books are managed by a centralized entity and everyone can access it directly over specific services like APIs and can use this information to execute something on the blockchain. So Orderbook-based DEXes, there are different implementation of it. So first implementation was Ether Delta. It used off-chain order book. This order book was not submitted to the blockchain. It was based on signatures. Just a user with his own private key of his wallet can sign a message and allow a specific smart contract to move funds from the wallet based on specific conditions and terms. So 0x was also off-chain, and still they changed the direction. They started with their decentralized order book approach and protocol, and now they try to do what we do at 1H. So AirSwap, also people who joined the MetaMask team, for example, also off-chain order book. Oasis did on-chain. They are doing today something else already. And our 1H limit order protocol, which was invented by my co-founder Anton Bukov, which offers super great user experience in terms of also developer experience as well. You can extend it. It's highly efficient. Charge no fees to be fully kind of composable by other protocols which can build on top of it. So. Yeah, just order book based, you have on the left side asks, you have on the right side bids, and someone match it. So arbitrage trader match them most of the time, but also other people who just want to exchange in the reverse direction. Liquidity-based DEXes, Banker Uniswap, Balancer Curve. We have also our own implementation from 2020 of the liquidity protocol. It has some kind of conditions, rules inside of the smart contract. It's just a program which run on a decentralized computer, I would say. And there's some conditions. People, liquidity provider, LPs, we call them, can provide tokens or Ethereum or other chains like other tokens. And these tokens would be used for trades. Yeah? And for each trade, these protocols charge fees, and these fees are distributed among LPs, liquidity providers. This is how that works. Most of the time you have pairs. For example, Uniswap, you have only 2 tokens in one pool, one liquid pool, one smart contract, just a program. Yeah. Curve, for example, they offer 4 tokens in one pool. Balancer can work with more than, I guess, 8 or something tokens in one pool with weighted proportions. It's also kind of one innovation which actually didn't find good adoption yet, but it's a cool thing for portfolio management. You just define, you would like only to have 10% of Ethereum in your portfolio, and it would balance by themselves, because arbitrage traders make, other users make trades in it and rebalance it automatically. And the formula inside of the protocol take care that it's properly executed and managed. Of course, you have impermanent loss. Just imagine you have some Ethereum. You can just let it on your wallet, and one day when the price goes up, you sell it, and you make profit. But another story would be you put your Ethereum in a Uniswap liquidity pool, and as long as it goes up until maybe $8,000 for ETH, you generate some yield from the fees, because the trades are done through your liquidity which you provided. So, and in this term, you can maybe face the impermanent loss. So it is difference between what you earned in the liquidity pool and got at the end when you exit the liquidity pool, compared to what you would get if you just sell on the highest price. So if the price change 5x and you are in liquidity pool, you would get 25% less compared to if you just would sit in the liquid just without doing anything with the tokens. I know some smart guys who just playing with Uniswap V3. You can deposit in a specific price range, and it's sometimes very profitable. You can earn 15% APR by just providing in smart manner your liquidity in specific price range. Yeah. So about aggregators. Aggregators, I and Anton, we came to the idea, we solve our own problem. We came to the idea it makes no sense to go to each of these DEXes and find the best rate, analyze the gas costs, analyze the liquidity. When you exchange for $100, you get better rate than when you exchange $1 million of US dollars, right? Because the liquidity is limited, and most of the implementation are based on AMM, where the formula ensures that the liquidity provider don't get a loss from trading. So what we did, we just split a trade among multiple liquidity sources in one single transaction. It's also a nice thing of decentralized finances. You cannot do it in traditional finances, since this is atomically executed. If something happens with Kyber here in this trade, we can revert it, or something, or at the end the user get not that what he expected, we can revert the transaction. Yeah, in the traditional finances, also in the crypto centralized exchanges, you cannot do it at all. They execute everything asynchronously, and you cannot revert piece of the transaction. Yeah, and this is all kind of good benefit of Ethereum blockchain from our point of view, Ethereum-like blockchains. So the art of aggregation. First, we just split between liquidity sources to achieve the best rate on one single market. Nowadays, we do a lot of things like exchanging two different tokens. It's like a graph, you see. Yeah, from ETH to CUSDT. We use multiple liquidity sources. We split between multiple sources, and so on and so on. We have, of course, risks in DeFi, how I mentioned. We have 2 minutes more, right? Yeah, okay. So if when you do the transaction by yourself, you can face this approach. There are people who are monitoring the mempool. So how that works, every user sends a transaction, and this is in the mempool, and all the validators and miners, they are looking, okay, which transaction is profitable for me. And only these transactions are included in the next block. So, and these malicious actors, I call them hackers, they are watching these transactions, and if there is a trade, for example, on Uniswap or some other protocols, they can exchange before your transaction is included in the block, and exchange after it is included in the block. They can specify the order and extract profit from it. $1.5 billion of US dollars were lost by this approach in DeFi space. 3 years ago, it was not the case, because the miners, validators, didn't offer this opportunity to people to prioritize the transactions. This came, I guess, to 2020, invented by some smart guys, which offered the miners to get additional profit by offering such a service. But at the end, what we got is that a lot of users lost a lot of money. So this is around 10% of the transactions. The user experience in decentralized exchanges looks like this. Still like this. These are the people who are not using aggregators at all. They are looking on decentralized exchanges, like they go to SushiSwap, they go to Uniswap, look at which rates they have, and they have to connect their own wallet. They need to approve for each smart contract, for each protocol they have, give a permission for the program to transfer tokens on the user interaction. If the user make a swap, the contract needs allowance to transfer the tokens. So, and this needs to be done on each protocol. We came to something else. In the first steps of 1inch, we offered to aggregate it and to use only one smart contract for all the interactions, and to use only one approval. And nowadays, like end of last year, like months ago, we came to a solution which improved the user experience at all. It makes the user experience similar to almost the same as on traditional finance. You have some benefits by using our new Fusion mode. You have no gas costs. You don't pay for the transaction. You don't care about that. You just give a permission that someone, a professional trader, execute a trade with you for a specific rate, which is acceptable for you. We have nice things like multi-trading, so zero costs. We have front-running protection. No one can abuse you, swap before you and swap after you, because what you actually do is just signing a limit order, which allows to being executed in specific price range. So multi-traded swaps also a nice thing, since it's atomically executed in a Ethereum-like blockchains. You need to wait until your first transaction is executed, then you can execute the second. Of course, you can send a bunch of transactions, but you need to still wait. In our case, what we came to, you can send like 10 swaps, and these 10 swaps can be executed completely asynchronously by professional traders. We call them resolvers. These are entities which just trade or arbitrage with the 1inch users. So yeah, in our case, the user journey is you connect your wallet, you select what you would like to exchange. If the token is supporting permit, it's a one-off feature what's really nice and is common for the new tokens. For example, Uniswap supported, Unitoken, Compound token, USDC supporting this. You just give a permission in the form of just a signature. You don't have to make any transaction. This is also very nice. And the first step for to execute the swap, you need just to also sign a permission. You give just a permission to someone to execute your trade at the end, and it makes the user experience, I would say nearby the same as traditional finance. Of course, you need to take care about, okay, this is a signature, I need to accept it, but it's still better than to send the transaction by yourself and being attacked by malicious people who extract value from your transaction. Yeah. So I see this year more service coming in implementing this direction because it's more efficient than what was before, because it makes no sense to make any trades on any of these DEXes because someone can extract value from your trade. And this approach is also used by other projects. It's very nice to see that people building on it and improving that. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we will make the financial system more robust and more efficient. And if you would like to know more about 1inch, you can subscribe our Twitter account. All the news you get on the Twitter. We have chats. Of course, we have also some programs for partners who would like to work with 1inch, and we do some collaborations. So yeah, thank you very much. If you have any questions, you go ahead.
Thank you, Sergej. Great keynote. Perhaps any questions from the audience? We could take a couple.
Anyway, thank you very much for the present. You said that you started from building, on other chains, and that helped you, get on a track, right? So can you kindly share, how was the decision made? And for instance, right now, new blockchains appears, and there are a number of them. So how do you make decisions on deciding who you would like to work with?
So 1inch network is not a centralized entity. It's a set of core contributors. We are more than 130 people around the globe. I'm very proud to work with these people. And we have initiatives. So if someone see improvement, we need to roll out on one of the exchange, blockchains. For example, a new blockchain is popping up. It's supporting EVM. And we can actually easily deploy that. Someone comes with the initiative and we discuss it internally. We have also our decentralized organization, autonomous organization. We have a forum. You can, as a user, you can just propose something. It can be discussed. There are a lot of people who are participating and in the discussion as well. Also independent teams who are also active in other projects. And normally, you need a proposal in our DAO to push it through.
But what is your proposal, right? So it's like the deal on the two parts. I understand, I'm representing Tone blockchain, but on the other hand, there are a number of other chains, and yours, 1inch, selling yourself as well, why you should be, why you work together with other, I'm very curious, it's kind of a business development thing, but if you can share your vision on who you are looking for, right?
We are looking for everyone from the beginning. I have in Telegram around 200 chats with other startups, and we would love to work with everyone. If it makes sense to deploy our protocols into another chain, we will do it. Yeah, those people who are responsible, for example, limit order protocol, they will roll it out if it makes sense. So it makes sense most of the time if they are people, if they are not bots, for example. Yeah, and we get also some maybe support from the community. But once again, everything is kind of every decision is made by the DAO. Partially by the foundation, which takes care about the front end, the app which you see, because you need kind of centralized vehicle which serves this service. Yeah, this is kind of our approach. We would love to work with everyone. I personally, I would love to work with everyone who would like to work with us.
Yeah, thank you
We have one more question from Roma.
Yeah, thanks, Sergej, for the talk. I would like to ask you about like permission, like not the pool itself, liquidity pools. How do you see the future of liquidity pools with impermanent loss? Do you see like if you need more adoptions on this pool, if we want to have more LPs to commit, we need to have like insurance on this impermanent loss, like basically like option or things like that. What's the future on that?
I know some startups, maybe it's not a startup anymore, Banker, for example, they raised a lot of money to build a liquidity protocol. Actually, they were before Uniswap. They also tried to introduce insurance and everything, but it's very complicated for the retail people from our point of view. Of course, we have this risk of impairment loss. People should be maybe more educated, or maybe some other startups could build a service which compose all the retail users who just provide tokens, and this service would manage the portfolio potentially. Yeah, there are a couple of them, but they're more centralized from our point of view. If it's completely done properly in a like fully industrialized manner based on smart contracts, maybe there's no one person who decide everything. It's also good. This could help to improve the user experience. Right now, it's very complicated. I guess if you just take one guy who's working right now out there, they heard maybe about Uniswap, and maybe heard that you can earn something with that, but it's very complicated. Yeah. Normally, when I meet someone who is interested in DeFi, I suggest them to read 2 books. From CoinGecko, there's How to DeFi for Beginners and Advanced. After that, you have kind of good understanding what's going on in DeFi space. Yeah, the future of liquidity pools. It's a nice thing. It's new invention. It's actually similar approach like existing in traditional finance, but they are not accessible for everyone. And Uniswap, like Hayden, came to the idea to offer it in super kind of friendly, user-friendly manner, but still complicated for the retail people yet. And it changed how we trade from our point of view. I personally, I have some funds in Uniswap in specific price ranges. Since the V3, this is also a new invention. It's people improved the AMM approach, and I see only benefits by improving and using these systems at all.